Let's talk Lady Deadpool. What's it like being part of that fantastic franchise?
My goodness. Well, that was just a neat little surprise.
It's either Kid Pool says,
"Ow! When I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's dick out of your mouth!"
Everyone was quick to point the finger at Ryan Reynolds. The internet exploded, headlines swarmed, people were furious, but while the spotlight stayed on him, someone else in the room remained completely silent. Because now, new reports suggest Blake Lively wasn't just nearby. She may have played a much bigger role than anyone expected, and when the backlash hit, she disappeared and let Ryan take the fall. Let's talk about the now infamous scene from Deadpool and Wolverine. Ryan Reynolds directed a moment involving his daughter, who reportedly appears in a small role. The scene allegedly included a controversial line that fans called completely inappropriate, especially given the child's age. The line, "When I want your opinion, I'll take Wolverine's out of your mouth." A version of that line, edited for the final cut, may never see the light of day, but according to reports from crew members on set, it was very real, and more importantly, it wasn't a one-off. Behind-the-scenes details revealed that the line was rehearsed numerous times, with some reports claiming dozens, even hundreds of takes. Some say it was done 70 times, others say closer to 500 takes. But what everyone seems to agree on is this: she didn't want to say it. At first, she resisted. According to anonymous insiders, Ryan and Blake's daughter struggled with the delivery. She was young, confused. She didn't understand why she was being asked to say something that made her visibly uncomfortable. Crew members recall long stretches of retakes, tension on set, and visible signs that the child wasn't enjoying herself. One insider said, "You could see it. She didn't get the joke. She wasn't laughing. She just kept looking at her parents." And according to that same report, it was Ryan who finally pulled her aside and told her, as bluntly as possible, that if she didn't get the line right, they would cut her from the film and cast someone else. That moment was never supposed to go public, but now that it has, the internet is asking a question that no one on the production team seems willing to answer. Why was this okay? The backlash came fast. People were concerned, angry, confused. They asked, how could something like this happen on a major Hollywood set? Who approved this? Who stood by? And while Ryan was the one who took the heat, the bigger question is, where was Blake Lively? According to multiple insiders, Blake Lively was present during filming. She was on set. She was aware of the script. She was involved. Some crew members say she offered encouragement to her daughter, reassuring her that everything was okay, that it was just part of the role. One source claimed Blake referred to her daughter as a natural and said she handled it like a pro. In that moment, she wasn't just a mom, she was a co-star. And when the public started demanding answers, she didn't say a word. What makes this even more complicated is that Blake isn't just any parent standing on the sidelines. She's an actress. She understands what it means to work with scripts, direction, tone, and boundaries, especially when those things involve a child. Multiple sources familiar with the shoot allege that Blake was actively participating in rehearsals, giving notes, laughing between takes, even helping prompt her daughter off camera during some of the line deliveries. One member of the production team reportedly overheard her say, "This is going to be iconic. She'll thank us later." That same crew member said the energy on set was oddly casual for what they were watching unfold. Blake and Ryan weren't behaving like protective parents. They were behaving like producers, like people trying to get a perfect take. And while it's true that parents have the right to raise and support their children how they choose, the concern from the public, and even some within the industry, isn't about parenting style. It's about responsibility. It's about knowing the weight of your platform, your reach, your influence, especially when your child is at the center of it all. And in this case, Blake was right there, smiling, encouraging, reassuring, participating, until the backlash came. And suddenly, she vanished. Blake Lively has spent years cultivating an image of the modern Hollywood mom. She promotes family-friendly wellness brands, runs a clean beauty line, and frequently shares wholesome content online. But behind the curtain, a very different narrative may have been playing out. And that's why when the outrage exploded, Blake stayed silent. Because if she confirmed anything, it could crack the foundation of everything she's built. Her silence wasn't just a PR move, it was self-preservation. Because here's what most people still don't realize. Blake Lively is at the center of one of the biggest legal battles in Hollywood right now. While Ryan Reynolds has been dragged through the headlines over the Deadpool controversy, Blake has quietly become the primary name attached to the $400 million lawsuit filed by director Justin Baldoni, a case that's already showing signs of unraveling. According to legal filings, Blake is accused of orchestrating a campaign to damage Baldoni's reputation, both behind the scenes and in the press. What started as a workplace dispute has now become a sprawling legal fight, and Baldoni isn't backing down. In fact, his legal team has started releasing screenshots, emails, and internal documents that appear to contradict many of the claims made against him. These aren't anonymous leaks, they're court-submitted evidence. And so far, they paint a very different picture. Fans who were once quick to side with Blake are now starting to ask whether the entire situation was misrepresented, or worse, manipulated. And that might be exactly why Blake has chosen to stay quiet, because if public attention shifts from Ryan's controversy to hers, the consequences could be devastating. She's already facing a lawsuit that threatens her credibility, her brand partnerships, and her public persona as a compassionate, family-first advocate. So when the Deadpool backlash hit, she let it run wild. She let Ryan take every headline, every trending hashtag, every hit, because as long as his name was the one getting dragged, hers wasn't. But the truth is starting to catch up, and the moment that lawsuit takes center stage again, silence may no longer be enough. This isn't the first time Blake has been connected to public controversy. In the past, she's faced backlash for past choices and comments, but each time she managed to move on quickly. The public forgave, the press moved on, but this time, it's different. This time, the spotlight isn't just on her, it's on her role as a parent, and that's something audiences don't take lightly. Because when you look back, the red flags were always there. In 2012, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds got married at Boone Hall Plantation, the same location where enslaved people were once forced to work under brutal conditions. The backlash came years later, when the wedding was resurfaced during national conversations around racism and historical trauma. Lively apologized, calling it a giant mistake, but many felt the damage had already been done. Then there's her infamous Oak magazine photo shoot, where she claimed to be inspired by her Cherokee heritage. Critics immediately called it out as cultural appropriation. There is no confirmed public evidence that Blake Lively has Native American ancestry, and the fashion shoot sparked widespread criticism online. She also defended her decision to work with Woody Allen on the 2016 film Cafe Society, long after public accusations against the director had resurfaced. When asked about it, she called Allen empowering to women, a statement that drew intense backlash considering the allegations surrounding him. These weren't just one-off moments, they were patterns of poor judgment, followed by silence, deflection, or rebranding, and each time she survived. But this moment feels different, because this time, the concern isn't just about a photo shoot or a wedding venue, it's about a child, her own child. And when the public sees a parent ignore warning signs, enable questionable decisions, or stand by while damage is done, the consequences are longer lasting and far harder to shake. In Hollywood, power and perception are everything, and when a moment spirals out of control, the question isn't just what happened, it's who takes the hit. Ryan Reynolds took the full weight of the backlash. His public image took a hit, his fans started asking tough questions, and even his future with certain franchises was brought into question. Meanwhile, Blake stayed out of the headlines almost entirely, but now that more details are emerging, fans are starting to ask, why did she stay silent? And was she more involved than anyone realized? Because here's what people are starting to notice. This isn't just about what happened on set, it's about how the narrative was managed afterward. It's about who spoke and who didn't. Ryan, for better or worse, became the public face of the controversy. He got dragged in the press, he was mocked online, he became the meme. His parenting, his ethics, and his decision making were ripped apart. But Blake, she posted family recipes, she promoted skincare, she smiled at events like nothing ever happened. Some fans say it was calculated, that she let Ryan absorb the public outrage so she could protect her image and brand deals. Others believe it was strategic silence, an effort to avoid adding fuel to a fire she helped start. And now, with her name appearing in legal documents tied to the Justin Baldoni case, that silence is starting to look less like a PR strategy and more like a cover-up. Because in Hollywood, image is everything. But the truth has a way of catching up. Blake Lively may not have delivered the line, but if the reports are true, she stood right next to the person who did and said nothing. And now that silence is speaking louder than any statement ever could, because this isn't just about a single moment in a film. This is about who was in the room, who had the power to stop it, and who chose not to. The narrative that's been carefully curated for years. The perfect wife, the hands-on mom, the unbothered Hollywood sweetheart is starting to crack. And for the first time, fans are wondering if they've been sold a version of Blake Lively that never actually existed. The question isn't whether Ryan Reynolds went too far. The question is, did Blake know exactly what was happening and let it happen anyway? Or worse, was she the one pulling the strings the whole time? Let us know what you think. Was Blake just standing by, or was she actually the one in control? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this story is far from over.